Hello students, welcome back to my channel again. This is Anamika Talukdar and today I am here with part 3 of the lesson What is Democracy? Why is Democracy? I completed the meaning and both the features of democracy in part 1 and 2. If you have not gone through the videos, then go through the videos, and in the part 1 of this lesson I have given the link of part 2 also in the description box. You can go directly from that. And if you have any doubt or query regarding anything, then you can ask me in the comment box. And I gave examples also before explaining both the features. I gave examples also, so same thing I'm repeating here in the third feature and fourth feature. There are few examples which I'm going to explain you, and then the feature will come. I'll try to complete third feature and the fourth feature of democracy today in this video, because in the third feature some small examples are given, so both the feature I'll try to complete. So let's start. So before I start the third feature, examples are given, so I'll read it out. First example, these are examples from 3 different countries. So the first example is from Saudi Arabia. What is written? In Saudi Arabia, women do not have right to vote. Now see, if women, they do not have right to vote, and we know in any country women, they constitute a major percentage of population, and we know democracy means when each and every person gets equal right of voting. That is the true form of democracy. Demos meaning is only people. Meaning of demos is people. So it constitutes whenever there is election, then each and every person should have the equal right of voting. They should have equal right to vote. But in Saudi Arabia, we can see the picture is different. Women, they do not have the right to vote. Now if women, they do not have the right to vote, we cannot call it as a true form of democracy. But yeah, later on it happened that in 2011, the president of Saudi Arabia, it's not written here, these are the extra things I'm telling you, because you should know what is the current situation now. So in 2011, the president of Saudi Arabia declared that from 2015 women will get the right of voting in local elections. So it happened that from 2015 women got the right to vote. Then next example is from Estonia. Now what is the voting system or the election system of Estonia? I'm reading it out, listen to it. Estonia has made its citizenship rule in such a way that people belonging to Russian minority find it difficult to get the right to vote. Now what is Russian minority? Russian minority are the people those who are less in number, less in population in Russia. The people those who are originally from Russia, that means having more in number, or it constitute a large number in the population. Those who are ethnic Russian people, they have more value whenever they vote. Their votes have more value than the people who are from the Russian minority. Now here minority means, for your understanding, I'm just giving you an example. For example, in Assam, if Assamese people, as we know that they are more in numbers in the population, and for example there are some families from like some Punjabi families or some Marwari families, then these will be less in numbers, so they will be called minority. But it doesn't happen that they have less value whenever they vote. Their votes have less value. It doesn't happen, and it should not happen in democracy. All of us, if they are resident of Assam, they should also have equal right of voting. So it happens in our country. But in Estonia, their election system is only like that the citizen, those who are the Russian majority, the majority of population, ethnic Russian people, they can vote freely. But those who are from the minority of population, less in number, they find it difficult to vote. For them, voting is the system of voting is different, and they find it difficult. For them, it's difficult for giving vote. And that should not happen. It's not fulfilling the feature of democracy. And third example is from Fiji. Fiji is a country from Oceania, island country. Now in Fiji, the system is made in such a way that those who are the original resident of Fiji, their votes have more value than the votes of the Indian Fijian. Now Indian Fijian means the people those who migrated from India to Fiji. They are Indian Fijian. So their votes have less value, and the people those are originally from Fiji, their votes have more value. And that should not happen. Voting is voting. Or the vote which we give, this should have same value. People are same, people are equal, so the votes are also equally, this should also be equally treated. Now as this is also not fulfilling the feature of democracy, so from these examples we can understand that for being a democratic country, or for being or forming a democratic form of government, one should have, each and every person, each and every people living in one country or one area, they should have equal right to vote. So from this, the third feature is one person, one vote, one value. So here it's written that in a democracy, each adult citizen must have one vote and each vote must have one value. So it means what? In a democracy, each adult citizen means 18 or above. 18 years or above, they are considered as adult citizen. So they should have the voting right and each of the votes should have one value. So this is the third feature. It's simple and easy. I think it's clear to you. Now we are going to the fourth feature. And before fourth feature, we have an example. And it's about the country Zimbabwe. It's from Africa. Got its independence in 1980 from British rule. As in India also we had British rule and we got independence by fighting, by doing freedom struggle. Same thing they also did. They fought and they did freedom struggle, and in 1980 finally, it's a bit late than India, but they could get independence from the white minority, that is from British, in 1980. Now in that freedom struggle, there was a person who took a main role, who had a main role in the freedom struggle, and he was Robert Mugabe. So Robert Mugabe's party's name was ZANU-PF. So this political party was also famous and popular among the people. Now after independence, he became the president and his party was the ruling party. Now when they were ruling, and as I said that the party was popular, he was a popular person. But popularity is not only, it is not only sufficient for forming a better form of government. This person, after he became the president of Zimbabwe, then he started using unfair practices, and those unfair practices were like, he changed constitution several times, and that should not happen by the government. The ruling party, they cannot change the constitution whenever they like to, and for making them less accountable, one cannot change the constitution. So making him less accountable, and meaning of accountability is, for example, if I am accountable to my parents or if I am accountable to my teachers, that means I am responsible for my actions to answer them. If I am responsible to answer someone for my actions, that is called accountability. And our government is also responsible for answering us. Our government is accountable to us for their actions. So like that Robert Mugabe, after the independence, he was, as he became the government, so he was also responsible to his citizens. But for making him less responsible, the things which he did, the unfair practices which he made, those as he did not have to answer to people, so he made him less accountable by changing the constitution several times, and which should not happen. Then he started his party and he started harassing the other parties. Other parties means other political parties, their opponents. He started harassing them. Their public meetings were disturbed in the middle. Then the meetings were stopped. Then the people were harassed who went against Robert Mugabe. So the radio and television, they also could not criticize Robert Mugabe or about his parties or about the illegal practices which he was doing. And even some newspapers were independent in the country, but they also could not go against Robert Mugabe. If they were showing something against Robert Mugabe, then Robert Mugabe used to harass the journalist. And even after that, if judges or court used to declare something against Robert Mugabe, that he is guilty or his party is doing unfair practices, making unfair practices, then Robert Mugabe even used to pressurize the judges and he used to ignore the decisions made by the judges or the court. So this was going on. Now you tell me that Robert Mugabe was popular. Definitely he was popular, but popularity is not sufficient in a democracy. Popularity doesn't give someone right to be a autocratic ruler. Now meaning of autocratic is, like I said, the meaning of democratic, it's about the people. Autocratic is when a person is ruling, a single party is ruling. Auto means by yourself. So if the person rules, for example, if the person rules, a single person rules or a single party rules, that will be autocratic. So popularity doesn't give anyone right to become autocratic. Popularity, if a government is popular, that's good, but government should work for the citizen, because government will also have to work according to the rules and regulations or the limits which are given by constitution. Constitution is not only for us, constitution is not only for the citizens. The rules, regulations which are written, or the rights which are written there in the constitution, these are not only for the citizens of any country, these are also for the government. Government will also have to work according to the rules, regulations or the rights which are given in the constitution or which are written in the constitution. So from this we can get the fourth feature of democracy, that a democratic government rules within limits set by constitutional law and citizens' right. So how a democratic government will have to work in any country? If the government is democratic, if the country is a democracy, then a democratic government will have to rule within the limits which are established by a constitution, and also it will have to follow, the government will have to follow the rights, and it will have to respect the rights of citizen. It can be popular, it should be popular, but in the name of popularity it cannot do anything whatever they want to do. So I think it's clear to you. Again, it's easy. It's about our country Zimbabwe, where there was a popular ruler. The popular ruler, in the name of popularity, he was not following anything which he should follow. He was going against the rules and regulations. He was going against even the judges. That should not happen. There is a law. We know in every country, we know that there are laws and which should be obeyed and followed by everyone, and which is not happening there. So from this example, it is explained to you that whenever there is a democratic form of government, that democratic form of government should work within some limits, within rights or within rules and regulations which are established by the constitution or which are written in the constitution. So the third feature is one person, one vote, one value, and fourth one is this one, that the government must work within the limits set by constitution. So I think third and fourth both are clear to you. And for today this much only. I'll try to give one picture where all the features are given to you. After a video I'll try to post the picture, and next video I'll start why democracy. So for today, thank you very much.